Hello and welcome to a VRTK tutorial. This tutorial is going to be a getting started guide of how to get VRTK from GitHub, download it, install it, and then get it open in Unity 3D. So first of all, you want to go to your web browser and you want to go to github.com/thestonefox/VRTK, or you can just go to vrtk.io. Once you come here, you will see the master branch, which is the one we're going to use, and all we're going to do is we're going to click here and click download zip, which will download a zip file for us. So we will save that onto our desktop, and once it's downloaded onto our desktop we will have the zip file, so we'll just go ahead and extract that. So I'm just going to open the zip file and I'm going to grab the folder and just drag it onto my desktop. And once that's extracted, I'm going to close the zip folder. And now all we need to do is open this file in Unity. So if we start up Unity, I'm using Unity 5.4, but this also works in 5.3 and 5.5. So when Unity first loads up, you'll get its splash screen. We just want to click open. Then when it opens, we just browse to where we have just extracted the folder from the zip file into VRTK master. In this regard, we open that, and then all we do is just click select folder. You will then get this message pop up saying that the version of Unity doesn't match the launch editor because we're using 5.4, but the project doesn't have any editor settings in. All you need to do is click continue and ignore this message. Once it's imported, Unity will open with our project. We will see that there's some error messages here, and we can also see the VRTK folder here. If we go to the VRTK folder and then go to examples, and let's just load up the first example, we can see that there's no camera being rendered here, and there's also a bunch of these errors because the prefab that we were expecting in here is the SteamVR prefab, which we don't have installed at the moment. So all the examples use SteamVR by default, although you can use Oculus SDK as well, but I'll cover that in another video. So to fix this, all we need to do is go to the asset store, and then from the asset store search for SteamVR, and we click SteamVR plugin. Then we just click import if we've already downloaded it before, and if we haven't downloaded it before, this button will say download. So we'll click import. That will then start bringing in that package, and you'll see this screen. We just want to click import again. When it's finally imported, you'll get the SteamVR settings pop up. Just click accept all. It will say we've made the right choice, and we can click OK. And now if we go back to our scene, you'll see all those errors have now gone, and that missing prefab has now been changed to the camera rig. So that is how to get VRTK working in Unity and getting it working with the SteamVR plugin. The next thing that we need to do to get it to work is if we were to create a blank scene, so we'll start from scratch. So if I just create a new scene in here, and we'll call this test. Now if we go to that scene, so we have a blank scene, we have a main camera, and we have a directional light. Let's get rid of our main camera, and what we want to do, because we're going to be using SteamVR, we want to bring in the SteamVR camera rig into our scene. And now what we want to do is also configure VRTK. So the way we configure VRTK to work with one of the VR SDKs, in this case SteamVR, is we want to go to the scripts folder and into utilities, and there's a script called the SDK manager. So what we want to do is if we just create an empty game object and we'll call it VRTK, and then on there we want to put that SDK manager script. And you'll see by default the SDK manager has no SDK selected for the system, the boundaries, the headset or the controller. So you can select a different SDK for each one of these if you wish, but it's usually you select the same one. So what we'll do is on system, we'll select SteamVR. On boundaries, we'll select SteamVR headset again, SteamVR, and controller, SteamVR. You also notice down here that when we've selected that, it's actually added a scripting define symbol to Unity for us. This is so it knows to use this SDK. Once we've set this up, we then need to set up these linked objects. The way we're going to do this is we just click this auto populate button and it should go and find these things for us. So it's found the actual boundaries, which is our camera rig. It's also found the actual headset, which in SteamVR in Unity 5.4 is actually camera eye. In 5.3 it's camera head, but in SteamVR from 5.4 onwards this gets switched at runtime. And the other things it finds are the controller objects, which are controller left, controller right, and the models for those controllers, which in SteamVR is model and model. And the final thing on there is the script aliases, which we'll cover in a moment. So now we have our camera rig and we have VRTK set up. If we were to run this scene, we'll be able to see our SteamVR camera rig and we have VRTK working with it. In the next video, we'll cover how to actually get some functionality into VRTK, such as basic things as using a pointer, grabbing objects and teleporting around. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please leave some likes and subscribe to the channel, and I will be back soon with some more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.